Mary had a little man.
False. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
On May 24th, 2022 at 11:33 a.m., an active shooter wearing body armor and equipped with a high-power AR-15 rifle entered Robb Elementary School and began shooting into classrooms 111 and 112, which shared a connecting door. Within minutes, 11 law enforcement officers from the Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District and the Uvalde Police Department arrived inside the school. Hearing continued gunfire, 5 officers immediately advanced toward classrooms 111 and 112. Within seconds, shots were fired from inside the classroom. Shrapnel hit 2 officers, and all responders retreated to cover. A single officer then made additional attempts to approach the classrooms, but after 11:40 a.m., no more attempts to enter the rooms were made until 12:48 p.m., more than an hour later. As a consequence of failed leadership, training, and policies, injured and scared students and teachers remain trapped with the subject in the classrooms, waiting to be rescued. Survivors later shared that they heard officers gathered outside the classrooms while they waited. The victims trapped in classroom 111 and 112 were waiting to be rescued at 11:44 a.m., approximately 10 minutes after officers first arrived, when the subject fired another shot inside the classrooms. They were still waiting at 11:56 a.m. when an officer on the scene told law enforcement leaders that his wife, a teacher, was inside room 111 and 112 and had been shot. They were still waiting as broadcasts went out on officer radios that a student trapped inside rooms 111 and had called 911 at 12:10 p.m. to say that that the student was in a room full of victims. That student stayed on the phone with 911 for 16 minutes.
Okay.
The victims were still waiting to be rescued when the subject fired 4 more shots inside the classrooms at 12:21 p.m., 49 minutes after officers arrived on the scene. And they were still waiting for another 27 minutes after that until finally officers entered the classroom and killed the subject.
I mean, we all knew for a very long time that the story that we were getting from Chief Arredondo, do you remember these names? From Greg Abbott, the governor, from everybody that was involved with the Department of Public Safety in Texas, that they were all full of crap. Everybody understood that. You had a few state representatives who made the rounds on TV consistently. You had Shimon Porcupes, who was a CNN reporter on that story, refusing to leave Uvalde for months, for freaking months, because he knew he was being lied to in his face, with the result being 19 dead elementary school students and 2 teachers dead. And some of the survivors, like one of the teachers who was interviewed, Mr. Reyes, it was in his classroom in Uvalde where this all happened. He said he felt abandoned. He could hear them outside. He could hear the Uvalde Police Department outside the doors doing nothing. Do nothing. And shots were being fired from inside the classroom, and they lied to your face, and they told you this. This is what the lie was. They said that they had a barricaded subject. That's what they said. They didn't believe they had an active shooter, although they could actively hear a shooter shooting. They lied, and they said, oh, we didn't know we had an active shooter because of the active shooter protocol, as we've all learned over the decades of school shootings. Holy crap, what a country. That the protocol is to go in and take out the shooter because you don't have time to do anything else. A barricaded person is a different thing, okay? That's when you begin negotiation. And remember, this is what they were saying. We were negotiating with him. But they heard gunshots, and they knew that he was in a classroom with 33 little kids. 33 little kids. And then one of the little kids called 911 and said she was inside the room with dead people all over the floor, and they still didn't go in. And Abbott lied his freaking face off, okay? He put a very sunny spin. He said, oh, well, the guy was mental, right? Of course, it was all mentally, it was the mental illness of the shooter, and that he had posted something on Facebook that he was going to go and do this. Meanwhile, nobody was flagged. Nobody knew. And yet, when he's inside a classroom and you can hear the gunshots and you got a kid on the phone saying, I'm inside the classroom, there are dead people all around me, my teacher is dead, my friends are dead, please come and get me. For 16 minutes she's telling this they still forget to tell you that. They just decide that they're not going to tell you that. It's really, we had to wait 2 years. 2 years we had to wait. We knew. Everybody knew. Abbott knew. Arredondo knew. Everybody there knew. All the parents knew. Okay? Some of the kids knew. Mr. Reyes knew. People knew. But now we have the official DOJ report. 2 years later, 575 pages to tell us what we knew. That Greg Abbott is a freaking lying sack of dung who will say and do anything, including stepping over dead children in order to tell a tall tale about his lackadaisical attitude about school safety, about gun violence, about shooters. It's always for these people who want everyone to be armed to the teeth, no matter what the consequences are. Dead children, as you know, America, are the price you pay for freedom. Asshats. People who say that. Disgusting.
Did you feel abandoned in that moment by police, by the people who are supposed to protect you?
Absolutely. After everything, I get more angry because you have a bulletproof vest. I had nothing. You're supposed to protect and serve. There is no excuse for their actions, and I will never forgive them.
How many students were in your classroom when the shooter came in?
11 students.
So the shooter killed every single student in your classroom.
Yes, ma'am. That's when I got you thinking, this family lost one. I lost 11 that day. And I just went to my parents and said, I'm sorry. I tried my best with what I was told to do. Please don't be angry with me.
The survivor's guilt alone. And I mean, the guy is laying under a desk trying to protect these 11 kids that are in his classroom, and he can't. But the people outside with the long guns and the bulletproof shields, the people outside, they won't go in because they're cowards. They were cowards, and they just didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care about the children. They didn't care about the teachers. They didn't care about the wife of a police officer who was shot. They didn't care about anything except their own behinds. That's all they cared about. This is this is Trump's America, okay? This is what it looks like. Women dying in parking lots from bleeding out from things that, are very preventable. And dead kids all over the place. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.